When Bob on our audience, we're running with, this is your friend James. A lot of people like this shirt. It's cowards irritate me. Just so you know what this is. Let's start straight in with the lesser evil lie. This is a spiritual cop-out. I'm just going to choose the lesser evil. This is a spiritual cop-out. You as a Christian are not able to use this. This is just an excuse to say nobody's perfect, so I'll overlook abortion and socialism. And since I don't like rich people, my grandparents voted that way, I can vote any way I want to. That was the context of what we were talking about when the person actually brought up this lesser of two evils. They were actually talking about Christians voting Democrat in 2020. And that's really just a flat out excuse. Because you say I'm a vote, you're saying nobody's perfect, so I'll do whatever I want to do. Let's start. You know who's closest to the Bible. You know their platform. You know who's been praying to God. You know who's got God in their platform. You know who stands for life. You know who respects religious freedom. You already know. So this cop-out, nobody's perfect, I can choose what I want to. You know in the weights of the balances which is closer to your religion. Now, if your religion is money, like Jesus said, you can't serve God and mammon, then of course, then you'll play with the people who talk about money and socialism, and their life is just in the natural, and they'll die and go to hell. Or you're gonna have your religion is God and Jesus and what the Bible has to say. You're gonna have to pick and choose. I guess it's simpler for you to just say you love money and you want to align yourself with them okay, let's continue. You just want to align yourself with them. You're aligning yourself with one or the other. And you'll stand before Jesus for your vote. Who talks about God the most? Who invites Christian ministers to the White House regularly? We have a track record. Quit your lies and excuses. Just say I'm voting for who I want because I want to. Don't talk about I'll choose the lesser to the evils and stuff like this. Listen, we were talking about abortion. Is abortion a lesser evil? Are you kidding me? 40 to 50 million kids killed since Roe versus Wade. Social injustice and COVID, their numbers come nowhere close to 40 or 50 million. Even at one point in time, they said immigration in the United States of America, like 30 million illegal immigrants were inside of our country during Obama's administration. But that's not 40 or 50. So that even illegal immigration, we were just going by statistics. Come on. And since nobody's perfect, I can vote for who I want to. Like that's an excuse. Wrong. That is not an excuse. The lesser of two evils. Let's talk about what does the lesser of two evils mean. Here's 4 short points. 1, you're pretending you can put a gauge on sin. So you can accept what you want. A little white lie. Satan's the father of lies. Nothing he makes is white. Nothing he makes is full of light. So there's no such thing as a white lie. But you're pretending you can put a gauge on sin. Therefore, you can overlook certain sins. The pseudo-love doctrine. I just walk in love and be nice. The man who wrote that chapter 13 also wrote earlier in that book to kick someone out of church for sexual immorality. So you can't play around and, I pick and choose. I'm God, so I can pick and choose. All this, of course, is a lie to substantiate your choice. So you can't use this lesser twos. You're pretending you can put a gauge on sin. So just because this group sins less than this group, I can choose this group. But the context we were talking about was abortion. We're talking about something against, you're killing babies in the womb. But still, you're saying this. It says nobody's perfect. I can vote for whoever I want to. So you're just putting a gauge on it. So now you're declaring what's righteous and what's not. But the thing is, you're declaring it. You are saying I can put a gauge on it. So if I decide in my head, this is one of these things I can tell when someone's in self-righteousness. I basically believe when they say I don't see a problem with, that means they don't really have a problem with it. So you're pretending you can put a gauge on it. As a Christian, you're pretending you can put the gauge on what's sin and what's not sin and what God overlooks and what God doesn't overlook. You're out of line. 2, you're lying and saying both groups are evil. Now, this is what I don't like about the lesser evil. You are saying both groups are evil. Now, before you say both groups are evil, you better watch yourself. Because you're still, once again, moving into God's realm. So you can choose whatever you want. Oh, both groups are evil. That's a lie. Both groups are evil. Now, that's why you don't say it. It's better to say nobody's perfect, I'm going to vote for who I want to, but when you say the lesser of two evils, you're saying they're both evil. I'm sorry, that's a lie. Both parties in the United States of America are not evil. That is a lie. There's no use in trying to explain it. That's a lie. That's just like saying, I don't like Christians, but Jesus is okay. Are you kidding me? That's one group of people. You're saying the Christians are messed up, but Jesus is okay. No, you'll die and probably go, nowhere you want to go. But seriously, you can't just say that. You can't just prove, these people are nice because they treat me nice, and what's his name? And it's like, the Christians are evil too, and these people are evil. Just like basically saying the conservatives are evil and the Democrats are evil. But you're lying. You're saying both are evil. This doesn't work. You can't say the police are evil and the criminals are evil. So I'm gonna side with the criminals. You're lying. You better be careful. Do not say both are evil when you say I'm choosing the less of two evils. That's a lie. Because what are they saying? You're distorting truth so you can pretend that you're being analytical. Stop doing that. That's a lie. 3, you're saying there's an acceptable loss rate for freedom. Because since both are evil, you're saying there's an acceptable loss rate. Let them lose their jobs. Let them die. That's worldly, godless wisdom that destroys everything in its wake. People who don't listen to God think that there is this wonderful way that you can hit to where we have some loss and some life, and that works. That's not how the universe works. The kingdom of heaven does not say some of them can die. It's okay. You're saying it's okay for abortion's not good and we shouldn't be killing babies in the womb, but that's an acceptable loss. So we can have socialized medicine and everyone can get everything for free. That's what socialized medicine is. Free healthcare. Okay? It's free, which isn't free. They think it's free, but you're taxing everybody so everyone pays for everybody's stuff. Go do the research and stop listening to liars. But you're saying it's an acceptable loss. If there's both two evils, you'll give up free speech just so you can, have some peace and quiet in your atheistic world. You will give up your guns just because you don't want to. See, it's an acceptable loss. The loss of all the guns. You can't hunt, you can't protect your house from wicked people trying to steal stuff in covetousness just because you want to feel safe because you didn't pray for your school or believe God or promote God in your school or talk about the love of Jesus which wipes away sin. You don't want to do any of that, but you will accept it. You will be happy to lose your right to bear arms in the United States of America. It's called acceptable loss. This is not scriptural. And 4, nobody's perfect. So do what you want. All of these cop-outs in your conscience will be wounded and seared if you do this stuff. If you make false declarations of self-righteousness and decisions you know are wrong, the lesser of evil is a lie. Come on. If you do this stuff, if you say this stuff, no one's perfect. Come on. If you do this, your conscience is going to be seared. You're messing with your conscience because abortion's wrong. And women shouldn't be killing their kids after committing fornication and adultery. The fathers, or some of them are just distraught and they're being used because of women who will kill the kid, threaten abortion, so they can extort money. Come on. You're going to come up with this stuff. We're not talking about the people who are innocent. We're talking about a girl who knows she's not supposed to be committing fornication with her teenage boyfriend. We're talking about a man who owns a company, knows he's not supposed to be committing adultery with his person. We're talking about this. No one's perfect. So this is what this lesser of two evils is. Come on. And you're talking about, but what it is a lie. And so quit using an excuse to find a pretend fault in the other person to vote your fleshly desires. So basically abortion's bad. Abortion's bad. But instead of admitting abortion's bad and not voting for the Democrats who think abortion's okay and it's a wonderful thing, and the people who like euthanasia and the people who like eugenics, controlling population, all that nonsense, you're going to go find something that you don't like about the other person. So now you've brought up trash on the other person. So now you can say, look, I found trash on them, so I can choose this. Isaiah 5:20, woe unto them that call good evil, that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. That's God saying judgment's coming to those who distort morality and truth and make up right and wrong so they can sin like hell doesn't exist. And they can use it, and also for people who will use you for political fodder in their war against real freedom. This is not good. It's a lesser evil. It's a gross deception. It's a cop-out. It's a gross, elaborate thing to pretend that nobody's perfect. So now, instead of sticking with the people who want to do right according to the word, you can now find an excuse to vote sin. Lebih.